Morning, everybody. This is Stacy Turner with our DMOpro Zoom. So excited to have you joining us this crazy week before Christmas. I am sitting behind this mound of Amazon boxes that I have to wrap this week. Like that is a goal. I always say I'm not going to do that because they look pretty like around the tree, but I'm waiting for all the little parts to come in that all have to go together with different presents. I don't know if you guys are that way too. And then it's like this wrapping frenzy, and I don't care if it has a bow. It just has some sort of paper, something, and I'm like, yep, we're done, we're good. So it's like the night before it all gets put out. But I love this week. Probably some of you guys have family coming in. Do you have kids coming back from college or coming in from other states? That's always fun. Everyone will get here next Friday or this Friday for us. So excited to see everyone, and just I thought, what do I do this week? Did you guys think that? Like, what do we do? Like, what work can be done this week? And I don't know about you, but I just needed a little bit of direction. So I thought, how about I go back to the DMO and like actually think through how can we apply that this week? And so that's what we're going to talk about is really just get back to what does this page tell us. And I love that about DMO. It's kind of our grounding point. It is for me. If ever I feel like I don't know what to do, especially if I go on vacation or something, like 1 week and I come back and I'm like, yeah, I have no idea how to do this business. I don't know what happens, but I'm like, yes, you do. Just talk to somebody, like follow up with somebody, reach out to a customer. And it's like, as soon as I start doing just a few of those, I'm like, oh yeah, I know how to do this again. So if you guys ever feel that way, you're not alone. So, okay, let's just think through this. This week, it is kind of an odd week. If you work full-time or if you have a lot of contacts that work full-time, they are still at work. And so they're probably a little bit busier because they're trying to get things done. And this may not be the best week for an event unless you already have one planned, right? Like it wouldn't really make sense to, okay, let's come up with an event for Thursday night. Sometimes those work really great last minute. January, February, that is the case. Like you can put things on the calendar last minute and people are either in town or they're not. But this week, they're probably not as available. So I have a sourdough event tomorrow night, but we've already planned this and we've already got people coming. And so if you've got an event this week, like keep inviting to it if you've already set that up, but might not be the best week to just throw one in there. So what do we do with that? When we're looking at events, the event section of our DMO planner, let's think about ahead, like let's think ahead. So January, there's lots of events that we can do in January, right? We have the company-led Jumpstart to Better Health, I think is what they're calling that, Jumpstart. And those sales start today. So I don't know if you guys saw that, but a trio order or a quad order that is not a Healthy Starts for Families order, they get 10 packets of vanilla shake and 10 packets of the chocolate complete. So that's 20 packets to get them going to do a shred 10 with us. And that's all the way through March, which I was like, I thought it was just going to be January, but that's all the way through March. So I know there's going to be some more information out. There's a new video by Dr. Jan Roberto. So be thinking about that. What are you going to do with that? Probably a lot of it's going to be person-to-person contacts. If you wanted to do a Taste the Shred event, I don't know if you guys have ever done one of those before, but everybody brings some recipe that's in there, and it's a great team event to bring those, and then you invite your customers or your prospects in, and they get to taste some of that food. A meal prep event, those salad jar parties go crazy in January, February. Everyone's like eating too much cheese and too many pretzels, and they're like, I gotta put a vegetable in my diet. So they're looking for those. So salad jar parties are great for that time of year. And then coffee chats. I also find January and February work well for me. We've talked about that, like where Patty lives, there's a lot of snow, and so people aren't getting out as much. Where here, where I live, it rarely ever snows. And in the summer, people leave town all the time because it's super hot here and they go up to the mountains. But in here, like this time of year, people stay here because it's good weather and they've already been on vacation for Christmas. They don't have any money to go on vacation again in January. And so they stay here. And I find like people will come to events, especially those Saturday morning coffee chats. So you got to think about where you're at. Would they be more likely to attend an event that's online? Then do that. I would say for us, that's not the case right now. We want to do them in person where I'm at, but Patty might do better having something online because people are snowed in, right? So think about where you're at, think about the people that are around you. Seasons make a difference, and what your season is in the area you live in, that makes a difference too. You know, during the fall, we never do an event on a Friday night because there's Friday night football. We've had 32 state championships in our little town. Nobody does anything. Like if you need to go to Walmart on a Friday night in the fall. Like there's nobody there because everybody's at the game. We're talking like thousands of people at the game. Everyone is there. So you just got to be thinking about your area, the seasons. You know, what are kind of the habits of people around you at that time, and build some events into that. So New Year, there is a lot of, okay, I need to get my health in order. So events of that type are going to be an important, like, how can you support people's health decisions? Okay, so they're looking for, okay, I need to get on track. What can you do to bring in support? You guys tell me, what are some other events that you've done in January that have worked well? You can either put it in the chat or talk to me in person, or unmute yourself. Talk to me in person. Unmute yourself. Nobody? No events. No events in January. Okay, Patty, what you got?
Well, you know, the sourdough workshops have been amazing. And I know Alexis is doing them online. So I'm going to look into that a little more. And we don't have a ton of snow yet this year, but I'm watching my 10-day forecast. And I literally am going to do impromptu sourdough events, but I'm going to be looking on doing more online stuff too. So I think, you know, it's just a matter of just connecting with people. You know, we can go snowshoeing or cross country skiing, but it just building that relationship is all you need to do, right?
For sure. Yeah, so that's a good idea. How can you take an event that you love and you get a lot of people to and bring it online? Deborah, what you got?
Well, in Houston, we're still growing. The temperature is not really cold. And so there are two farmers markets nearby. They happen on the same day. So I was talking with Sony this morning about alternating, you know, 1 week in one tower with the Tower Garden and Juice Plus in one location and one in the next. And I think for January, those will be really good locations for vending.
Okay, that's a whole other side of it. I forgot, Deborah, we have a Tower Garden. Like, you know, when people are thinking, I need to eat better this year, you know, what can you post more about your Tower Gardens and do, you know, some sort of tower to table event? That's a great one in there. And then looking for markets, that's a good one. Like in our area, there were a lot of craft fairs October through, you know, mid-December, and those were good, you know, to get a booth at. So are there, you know, some sort of health fairs in your area? Like sometimes corporations or corporate-led health fairs will happen at the new year. Who do you know that might have a spot that you can, you know, set up a table to set up? So that would be a wise, you know, use of time too. So thinking about that, are there any health fairs that are going to be coming up that you could put a table at? Anyone else with ideas for a booth? I mean, an event in January, February?
It's not really new, but we were looking at the calendar, like my team and I, and the sourdoughs parties are working really well. So I actually just did a salad in a jar last night or yesterday, well attended. I was surprised for being this late in the season, but it was a good one to right before the week hits to have some healthy lunches prepped. So people love that. We have 2 sourdoughs back to back, one at one team member's house, one at another, like Saturday and Sunday. So if they can't make one, maybe they can make the other one. So it's like the January 27th and then January 28th worked out well. So weekend of wellness, I guess we could call it.
Yeah, I love that. So that's another thing. If you guys haven't made sourdough, why not? Why not do that this week? Figure, like get a mother from somebody. One of us can get you one if you need that starter. But just try it. Like they work because people show up. They come. Like those that say they're coming, they actually come. They don't back out, which is just phenomenal. So I really suggest figuring out the sourdough. It's not as hard as you might be thinking. Just jump in and say, okay, this week I'm going to learn how to make sourdough so that in January I can teach a class on it. So there's tons of videos. We've got lots of support on boards. So just do it. That's your Nike little encouragement this morning. Just do it. It's better than you think. I promise you. It's not as difficult. Okay. So now let's go. We're just going to work on to this page. As somebody said, Patty said she has 60 new prospects since doing sourdough. Like I'm telling you, they come to us. Again, when does that ever happen? And as long as you're introducing the product well and the business and conversations with people, you can get customers and team members from it too. We have, I'm doing the sourdough for one of my new team members that came from a sourdough class. We were Facebook friends. I've never even sent her a message. I don't know if she'd even seen anything about Juice Plus from me. Somehow she saw the sourdough event, came, fell in love with Juice Plus, ordered everything that night, became a team member, got to Partner Plus, and now we're working to QSC with her people at my mom's house. And she's in a different town than I'm in, which I'm super excited about that because that brings in something totally different. So, all right, let's look at our DMO page here, right? So let's just start at the top. Personal growth. I want to recommend a book to you guys. It's called Finish by John Acuff or Acuff. I'll send you guys the link to it. I listened to it on Audible and it's only 4 hours. So it's not a super long book. And he's talking about perfectionism and procrastination and different things that keep us from finishing what we start. And it was just really good. So not just goal setting. There were so many practical things. And I'll just give you an example of one of them. So he talks about, do you have a hiding place? So a hiding place is a place that you go to when you know you've got some work to do. And let's just say it's going to be follow-up calls. Okay, let's just say it's that. And you're like, I know I need to do some follow-up calls. I need to send some follow-up messages. But for whatever reason, your brain's like, no, we can just do that later. And then you go to a hiding place and it's like something that feels productive. And so you're like, I'm still working. So it could be organizing your desk. It could be checking email. That's what he talked about his. So it looks like work. It feels like work, but you're hiding from the work that you need to get done. And so I realized my hiding place is audiobooks. Like I'm listening to personal growth. I'm in there. I'm building my business, but really it's when I need to be sitting down and doing my DMO. That's not what I need to do when I'm doing DMO is not personal growth, right? Like I need to do that some other time when I'm washing dishes or mopping the floor or I don't know, whatever else, that is the time to listen to an audiobook. It's not when I'm sitting down to do like a power hour. That wouldn't make sense, right? But that is where I end up going for, that's sort of like my hiding place where I feel like, but this is good. It's like for my business. And then I'm really distracting myself. So I highly recommend that book. I think it would be a fabulous book to do like a book club around because there's some suggestions and some good questions in the back if you guys wanted to do that with your team in January. But if you could all listen to it ahead of time and then have some like even 2 different times in January where you got together and you just discussed it, because I think there's something important about processing the book, not just listening listening to it or just reading it, but then how do you really apply it to our business? But I really liked it because it was shorter and he's funny and he reads the book, which I also like when the author reads the book if you're listening by audio. And it was just entertaining too. So I highly recommend it. It's called Finish. You guys put in the chat if you're listening to a different book or if you're reading something that you think other people would like. Let's share what that is, and making sure that we are pouring into ourselves during this time. Like when I'm wrapping gifts, I could be watching Netflix, also a hiding place, because I'm doing something, right? Like, oh, I'm doing this other thing, but I could be listening to an audiobook instead or listening to a podcast. You know, there's some really good podcasts out there for business. And so in those kind of quieter moments when you're kind of distracting yourself or you've got something else that you have to do, that's a good time to invest in personal growth. So what are you listening to? What's feeding your mind? All of that's really important, but I highly recommend the book Finish if you guys are looking for something for this week and over the next couple weeks. Okay, new connections. So if you're at Christmas parties, obviously we kind of talked about that already, just really getting into conversations with people and wanting to connect with them. John Acuff, something like that, is the author of Finish. Somebody asked that. But so we want to make sure that we're talking to people. If we're in a circle in a crowd of people, probably it's going to be more with family, like if you have extended family events. And I would say, you know, we're not necessarily going in just guns a-blazing with Juice Plus, but you're listening to those conversations, asking questions, leaning in. Nobody else does that. Nobody else does that. That's really, I think, what sets us apart and what draws people to us is when we have really good conversations, when we're listening. Now, when the need is found, when they mention the need of whatever it is, that's when you share Juice Plus, right? So I had a team member, she had a really great encounter with a guy at the eyeglasses store, and he was all into health, but he said he hates vegetables. So she's talking to him and asking him questions, and they have this great conversation. So she leaves me a Voxer and tells me about it, and I was like, okay, did you tell him about Juice Plus? And she was like, no, I was just asking questions. And I was like, he told you what the need was. He was very clear. He said he doesn't like eating vegetables. So when you find what the need is, that is when you bring in Juice Plus. And she was like, oh, I kind of always miss that. Like, how many questions do you ask and how before you finally share? And I said, just think about that. When you hear the need, that's when you share. And so how you share makes a difference. If you're like, well, you need to be taking Juice Plus, you know, I've told you this for 10 years and you're just still not listening. I don't know what you don't understand about this. Like, it's probably not going to go as well, right? But if you are soft with it and you say, I hear that, like, that has got to be so frustrating. I'm sorry you're dealing with that. You know, I know we've talked about this before, but I would love to circle back around to you with Juice Plus. It's fruits and vegetables in a capsule. I've seen it help with other people, same situation or whatever. I have no idea if this is for you or not, but I do think it would be helpful. Can I send you some more information? Your softer approach with that, it's probably going to do well, except for if it's like your older brother or something, then you probably can just say, all right, that's it. I've had enough of this conversation. You're just going to take Juice Plus. So there's some people in family that works with, so go there if you need to. That didn't work with my cousin the other day at the table. I was like, oh, okay, sorry. That was kind of harsh. We'll circle back around. He didn't think it was as funny as I did. So be careful with that, right? Okay, so that's new connections. Who are you around? Who can you really get into conversations with and listen to? And then social media. People are on their phones a lot, especially Christmas to New Year. So posting now, commenting on people's posts, hearting them versus liking them, giving them a heart and comment. Keep your interaction strong, and then posting on your stories about Juice Plus. People that aren't typically on their phone as much will be on their phone even more. So it just is the way it is. And you want to make sure it doesn't suck your time away. So put a timer on your phone, get on, like, heart, comment. post on there. Again, if you don't know what to post, Jill Wagner's is just fabulous. Get on her $10 a month and she sends you something to post every day. And so you just tweak it, make it your own and post. And so I just highly encourage that. But putting yourself out there, this is like a next couple of weeks is a lot of marketing. Think of it that way. You're putting yourself out there on the market. You want people to come back to you when they're thinking about what am I going to do? You want them to circle back and you want your name to pop into their mind of, I bet she could help me with that, or I'm going to reach out to her. So you never know who's watching, you never know who's looking. So just you can post even a little bit more Juice Plus, especially on your stories. You can post on your stories every day about Juice Plus, honestly. Like, make it unique, but you can post on there daily. And then on your wall, keep it within those 5 things that you're posting. Lots of things to ask, like to get engagement. You can look back on my wall for friends. Most of them are public. You'll be able to see them anyway. There's one about Santa and like a Secret Santa and what gift am I getting? Like, what did you just buy? You think those are kind of silly. Like, why is she posting that? It's not because I'm entertained by everybody's messages. And sometimes I look through them, sometimes I don't, but it gets engagement and it wakes up the algorithms of Facebook to where people see, like the algorithm sees you as relevant and interacting. And so then when I do post something, more people see it. So that's why we put those on there. They're not just for nothing. So look back and see if you can start posting some things to get some engagement on yours as well. Okay, follow up, especially that week after Christmas. That's a great one. Like, why not really take that time where people are on their phones? They're probably going to answer you faster with a text message. And we gave some verbiage last week, and you can go back in the Voxer chat and look that up. But, you know, starting conversations with people basically like, hey, I know we've talked about Juice Plus. I'd love to help you on your health journey. What are you going to be doing this next year? You know, just getting into those types of conversations can be really effective, reminding them, hey, I'm here. I would love to help you get started. Sometimes it's like people are thinking about it and then you text them and they're like, oh yeah, thanks, that's great. You know, can you meet with people? There's one lady I'm thinking about in particular, like, we've done this dance back and forth for a couple of years now. It's ridiculous. I just need to get her to meet with me. Maybe this next week she would be more open. She owns a bakery, morning bakery, so maybe not, but in the evenings, maybe she would be, right? So can I get in touch with her? Can I get, you know, one-on-one time with her? Where they may have some time off, they're able to meet with you for coffee or to meet with you for lunch or just to come stop by their house and give them a little gift of a shake packet. I mean, there's lots of different things that you can do to put together little care packages and be in person with them and just, again, like, I'm here for you and, you know, how can we help support you? So follow up, I think, is really important for those in the next couple of weeks. Customer care. Again, you could make up little packets with some gummy samples, a shake sample, just in a cellophane bag. I don't know. There's so many customer care ideas with your local customers. One year somebody talked, I think it might have been Alita, where you take a little basil plant that she found at the store and they were like $3 each. And she wrapped them in cellophane, the plastic, and then like took them each to her gifts. So, I mean, to her customers. And there's just lots of little things like, how can you be in front of them that, again, you're saying thank you, that they see you, some interaction. Alita said she has rosemary this year. So it's just, that's such a cute idea. So if you've got some other ideas for customer care in those, gift cards, those are great. Like a $5 gift card to Starbucks, although that won't buy you a coffee anymore. Maybe you could tape like $2 bills onto the card so that they can actually buy a cup of coffee. Isn't that crazy? But, you know, just something to say, I see you, I appreciate you, and I'm thinking of you goes a long way. The coffee cards, I do that typically in January because I'm always behind. So it's like a New Year instead of a Christmas card, right? So you can be thinking about that type of thing. A customer appreciation coffee in January and February, those always go over well too. some sort of event where you're just saying thank you to them. So customer care connection, making sure, of course, that we're letting our customers know that their boxes are shipping. Don't be surprised if you're getting a lot of delays right now and they're behind, or they just don't have the money right now because they've spent it on Christmas. Like, don't get all worked up over it thinking, oh no, everyone's canceling. It's just the way of December. It just kind of is. And so in January, they'll be ready again to reorder, or to place another order for something else. So just don't let it get into your head. Kind of expect there's probably going to be more delays this month than you've had some of the other months. So that's on the customer care side. Partner connections, a gift, to send to your partners. Especially your qualifiers, I think is super important. I just sent on Amazon last night. I took the time to send, each of my qualifiers a gift on Amazon. They drop ship it to them, like I'm not having to send it to them. Most of my qualifiers don't live here local. And so that's a great way just to say, I'm thankful for you. Thank you for being a part of my life and my business. And then also anyone local, some sort of gift. Each year I just make up something I take to them in person, even those that aren't as active, but that I know like it would be really good if we could ever get them to connect, or just good friends of mine that I take them some sort of little gift. And so be thinking about that. You can still get stuff from Amazon easily. There are these knives from Amazon. I'll put the link in our Voxer chat. It's $10 and they're for sourdough. It's one knife and that thing will cut through hot bread like perfect. It just slices it like butter. It's excellent. And it was $10. So like everybody, sorry if you're on my team and you're a qualifier, I just told you what you're getting for Christmas, but that's a great one to give. I just bought a bunch of them. Like I bought 10 of them and I have them here. And then if a team member comes over, I'm going to see one. I just give them a bread knife and encourage them to do sourdough if they haven't done it yet. And so that's a practical one, a practical gift, but it's something I've really liked. So just again, how can you say thank you to your partners? What about some sort of partner dinner? I was thinking about this, like why not like a Christmas party, but do it in January, even just like let's start the new year for that. Another event idea, I just thought of this, is finding your one word. You guys have access to that in the DMOpro app. And then also one of the boards that we have, there's the information about finding your one word and host an event with that, or a dream board event. A church is a great place because they typically have tables and chairs. We've had as many as like 40 people and this few is like 2 people. So you just never know who's going to show up. The more the church can like help you advertise that and put the information out. So talk with whoever your pastor is, or if there's a community center or something like that, that's a great way where again, people are thinking about, all right, I need to set New Year, what are my goals for this year, and helping them walk through that. It's just a great conversation starter and it's a way to serve and bring value. That's a lot of fun. So if you've never done one of those, that's great. You can do that with your team. Like do dinner and you guys fill out the paperwork while you're waiting, for the food to arrive, and then just discuss it and thinking like, what are their goals for this year? You've got some great resources in your DMO planner at the beginning of the planner to do that. Even you can make copies of that. You've got access to the documents, the pages to print off on your own. Those are even on our the DMOplanner.com website. So those are great partner connection ideas, events, and then 3-way connections. You guys, this is also a great time to do those 3-way calls with team members that have recently gotten to QSC, those that are moving a little bit faster, new team members, like just to reach out to them and connect with their upline so that you can say, hey, I see you, not just on the report, but I just want to introduce myself. I want to get to know you, want to hear what you have to say. What have you been doing? I see these numbers. I'm just wanting to learn from you. How can you reach out and connect with different people on your team that you may not have access to because they don't live local to you? But 3-way connections can really help encourage them and build them up as they're walking into this new year as well. So Also be thinking about the contact sheets at the back of your planner. Are those updated? You know, do you have everyone that you've been talking to? Do you have their names down? Because this makes it super easy to invite to the event, right? The next event that you've got going on, you've got a list of the people you're already having conversations with. When you're looking to send the follow-up, like it's right here, you've already written it down. Think of the DMO planner as a tracker. It really should have been named that, I think. Tracking the conversations you're having. It's a place to write it down. You can use it to plan ahead, but you need to be writing things down. Like you're not going to remember it. So if you don't have a planner, if you guys need your new one, I've got a great supply still. So the DMOplanner.com. And I think that's all I have. Do you guys have anything you want to add to that? Anything I missed? Oh, okay. Well, if you think of something, add it into our Boxer chat. I know some great links were added in here. So I'm going to end this and then I'm going to look at the links and see if there's anything we need to copy and paste. So thank you guys for joining us. Next Monday is Christmas. Then the next Monday is New Year. So we will be skipping those 2 Mondays and we'll come back January 8th. Okay, so keep that in mind. But I'll miss you guys for that couple weeks. So we got to come back to this. And when we get stuck, come back to this recording and you're like, okay, what did she say about that? What should we do on this one? And just keep moving. The important thing is enjoy our family, right? Of course, we want to enjoy our family. But also stay in activity so that by January 2nd, we're not sitting there thinking, I have no idea. I have no idea what to do. So a little bit of planning this week will really help set us up well for January and February to where we're walking into those months strong and confident with a plan and just able to move forward and really help people because that's what this is about, right? None of this matters if our heart isn't in the right place to help. And again, what you guys do is good work. It is good work. Don't forget that. It makes a difference. So, all right, you guys have a great day.